You waste whole days scrolling, even after promising yourself this month would be different. What if you could restart your life without waiting for Monday, next month, or some magical burst of motivation? In this video, I'll share 6 proven reset strategies that will help you go from stuck and guilty to focused, disciplined, and fully back in control. I realized this after seeing how one lazy month can quietly turn into a lazy semester if you don't interrupt the pattern early. Habits usually don't fall apart all at once. They drift, little by little, until your routine starts controlling you. And the problem is, most students try to fix everything in one day, then burn out and quit again. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to restart your life as a student in a way that actually feels doable. Let's dive in. The first thing you need to do is stop calling yourself lazy. This is more important than most people realize, because the biggest thing keeping you stuck may not even be your habits. It may be your identity. After a bad month, you probably say things like, "I'm so lazy," or "I have no discipline." That sounds harmless, but it's not. When you label yourself like that, your brain starts acting like that label is true. You don't just feel lazy, you start behaving like someone who expects to fail. This matters because your brain is always trying to stay consistent with the story you tell yourself. If your identity becomes, "I'm lazy," then procrastination feels normal. But if your identity becomes, "I'm rebuilding," even tiny actions start to matter. Guilt drains your energy, but identity gives you direction. Think of it like riding a bike. If the front wheel is pointed the wrong way, pedaling harder won't help. So here's what you do. First, stop using permanent labels. Don't say, "I'm lazy." Say, "I had a lazy month." That makes it temporary. Second, give yourself a replacement identity. Something simple like, "I'm a student getting back on track." Third, prove it with one tiny action today, even if it only takes 5 minutes. Open your notes. Review one page. Clean one corner of your desk. And fourth, don't wait to feel confident before acting. Confidence comes after evidence. Instead of saying, "I'll study when I feel motivated," say, "I'll study first, and motivation can catch up later." Now here's where it gets even more important. Once you stop seeing yourself as broken, you need to make your comeback easy enough to actually start. And that means your restart has to be embarrassingly small. Most students fail their reset because their first step is way too big. After wasting time, you want to recover fast, so you build the perfect plan. Wake up at 5, study 6 hours, work out, eat healthy, fix your sleep, delete every distraction. And for a few hours, it feels amazing. But then it collapses. A real restart begins with actions that feel almost too easy. That's the part people underestimate. Your brain resists big changes because they feel painful and risky. Small actions lower that resistance. They help you rebuild trust with yourself. And trust matters more than intensity in the beginning. So instead of trying to become your ideal self overnight, choose one academic reset habit that takes less than 10 minutes. Maybe reviewing flashcards, reading 2 pages, or organizing one folder. Then choose one physical reset habit, like making your bed or taking a 5-minute walk. Then choose one digital reset habit, like putting your phone in another room for 20 minutes. Do just those 3 things for a few days before adding more. And avoid this common mistake. Don't reward yourself for making a perfect plan. Reward yourself for showing up. That's how momentum starts. But wait, there's more to this. Even small habits won't stick if your environment keeps pushing you backward. So the next step is to clean the friction out of your environment. This next one is crucial because willpower is weak when your room, your phone, and your schedule are designed for distraction. Your environment is the space around you that quietly tells you what to do next. If your bed is wide open, your phone is glowing, and your books are buried under clutter, your brain will choose comfort. Not because you're weak, because your environment is making the decision for you. Your brain follows the path of least resistance. If distraction is easy and studying is annoying, you'll keep drifting toward distraction. But if studying becomes the easiest visible option, your behavior changes with a lot less effort. What's obvious gets done. What's hidden gets ignored. So instead of fighting your brain all day, set things up so your brain doesn't have to fight as much. Start by resetting just one study zone. Not your whole life, not your whole room, just one desk. Then, remove visual triggers that lead to laziness. That means closing unnecessary tabs, putting snacks away, folding your blanket, and getting your phone off the table. Next, place your study materials in plain sight before you sleep, so your first action tomorrow is obvious. And finally, make distractions harder to access. Log out of social apps. Put your charger far away. Leave your phone in a drawer. Instead of trusting yourself not to scroll, make scrolling annoying. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what happens when motivation disappears again? That's exactly why the next step matters so much. You need to rebuild your day around anchors, not motivation. Motivation feels good, but it's unreliable. Some days you have it, most days you don't. Anchors are different. Anchors are fixed parts of your day that hold your routine in place. Think of things like your wake-up time, your first study block, lunch, shower, and bedtime. Instead of hoping you'll suddenly feel productive, you attach actions to moments that already happen. This works because motivation is emotional, but anchors are mechanical. Your brain likes clear patterns. When you always study after breakfast or review notes right after class, you remove the daily debate. And that debate is exhausting. Most students don't fail because they can't work hard. They fail because they keep negotiating with themselves every hour. So here's how to do it. Pick 3 daily anchors to start with: your wake-up time, one study block, and your bedtime. Keep them in the same general window every day. They don't need to be perfect, they need to be repeatable. Then attach one small action to each anchor. After breakfast, study for 25 minutes. After dinner, pack your bag. Before bed, choose tomorrow's top task. And keep your routine boring at first. That's important. A realistic routine survives. A fancy routine usually breaks. Instead of building an aesthetic dream life, build a system that still works when you're tired. This brings me to the next secret, and honestly, this is where a lot of students ruin their comeback. They panic. They look at everything they missed, and they try to catch up all at once. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. After a lazy month, it's normal to feel behind. You see unfinished assignments, unread chapters, ignored messages, messy sleep, and wasted time. Then your brain says, I have to fix everything today. And that creates panic productivity. Panic productivity looks productive, but it's usually just fear in disguise. You overload yourself, your stress shoots up, your focus gets worse, and by the end of the day, you feel even more hopeless. That's why trying harder often backfires. When you feel overwhelmed, your brain shifts into survival mode. And survival mode is terrible for concentration. So instead of treating your comeback like punishment, treat it like recovery. You are rebuilding strength. That means stabilizing first, then catching up steadily. Start by making 3 simple lists: urgent, important, and can wait. Not everything is on fire, even if it feels that way. Then choose just one recovery target for the day. One assignment, one chapter, one email. That's enough. If you need help, message a classmate or email your teacher instead of hiding from the problem. Clarity reduces fear. And most importantly, stop comparing yourself to the version of you from your best week. Compare yourself to yesterday. If today is slightly calmer, clearer, or more focused than yesterday, that's progress. You've already watched this far, so let me share the final piece that makes all of this last. The real goal isn't just restarting. It's staying restarted. And that means building a bounce-back system. Most students focus on becoming disciplined, but the smarter move is creating a plan for the days when discipline disappears. Because let's be honest, you are going to have another bad day. Maybe you oversleep next week. Maybe you waste an afternoon. Maybe you lose momentum for a weekend. That does not mean your reset failed. It means you need a way to recover fast. A bounce-back system is your plan for bad days, not your perfect day.